In this episode, we visit what I like to say is my Walt Disney World.
Hey folks, good morning to you. We are inside the Henry Ford Museum and we're about to take a peek at the presidential limousine. It's a pretty heavy display as they have the old Lincoln that JFK was assassinated in, as well as the Ronald Reagan Lincoln, as well as FDR's. I'm not going to speak through this one. I may say something around the JFK car, but just enjoy what's here, and I'll get back with you, well, in a bit. Right here is the seat in the jumper seat where President Kennedy was assassinated. We've all seen the film, Jackie O climbing out the back on the trunk, supposedly to gather pieces of what was taken away from her husband. It's a somber moment, but man, what a piece of history. This was the car of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The car is rather massive, but it needed to be to keep the facts away from the president and his illness at the time. So they had to not only transport, but power their hired wheelchair. This car is likely the most important car here. It's the 1896 Ford Quadricycle, which was basically a buggy with a motorcycle engine. as a Toyota employee, the last car you just saw there is a pretty important one. It's a 1966 Toyota Corona. At the time, Toyota had actually been here in like 1958, but made in Japan was seen as a lesser quality vehicle. So they came back in 1965 and they brought with them the Corona, that being the 66 model. As they became more dependable and the big three struggled with quality in the 70s, Toyota really took a grasp, and J.D. Power will tell you all you need to know. We're one of the best manufacturers on the planet now. It's pretty awesome. Here's yet another important car as a Toyota employee. This is the 2002 Prius. It took an old concept. A hybrid engine is well over 100 years old. Took the old concept, brought it to the new age, and it's created a revolution that's hopefully changing the earth. We'll see how it all turns out, I reckon. In the background, you can see a photo of Jim Clark as he won the Indianapolis 500 in 1965. This very car. This car is special to me for a couple reasons, mainly for nostalgia. And what I mean by that was, I was growing up in the early 80s. My dad used to live in a little town in Kentucky called Cumberland. In Cumberland, they had a Ben Franklin, which is kind of like a five and dime store. There, my dad picked me up a toy car called AJ Fort. I don't know where that car's at now, but I'm sure would love to have it. You can see AJ himself on the back here in the photo as he won the Hoosier 100 in 1960. This very car. Next, we're going to see something very cool. Probably planted the seed of what I'm trying to do right now. In Charles Carrot on CBS used to have a television show called On the Road, where they essentially had a motorhome, camper, Winnebago, whatever you'd like to call it. Charles would go around the country and film his interactions. It's pretty cool. So his vehicle is parked right here. Read that right. Probably the oldest surviving school bus in the United States of America. This is a 1948 Tucker. If you haven't seen a movie or know anything about Mr. Tucker, essentially he was so far ahead of all the other manufacturers that they conspired with each other to shut him down and put him out of business. So this is a very, very unique and important part. I'll stop over here for just a second. And again, feel free to pause it if you want more information. There is absolutely nothing like a deuce symbol. This is a 1931 Model J. So take a look at that. Yes, that's a convertible. There's some incredible things here at the Henry Ford, but there's nothing more impressive or just jaw-dropping than this tiny little snowplow for the railroad. Is that not insane? Take some extra time on this next car I'm about to show you. It was a safety car created by companies to advance, I guess, the automotives. There's things like a center console or a center seat where the driver would pilot with levers instead of steering wheel. There's wraparound bumpers, there's seat belts, there's all these different things that didn't exist back then. So this is a very important car in the evolution of transportation and what we have and what we do today. So check this out. What you're about to see is, it's breathtaking. It's one of those moments in history that without it, we don't get to be who we are today. But the importance of what you're about to see is not lost on me at all. This is the actual chair from Ford's Theater that President Abraham Lincoln was sitting in when John Wilkes Booth cowardly assassinated him. from Lincoln to this. The most disgusting thing you could probably ever see. I hate it. I don't want to put it in here. But if we don't learn from history, we're destined to repeat the mistakes of the past. This is a segregated waiting room. It's enough of that crap. When I turn this corner, you're going to see something that's amazing. The simple act of saying no sparked the civil rights movement in the United States and changed the world forever and in an immensely more beautiful way. This bus was found. It was very deteriorated, but the Ford Museum purchased it. The Ford Museum, you just got to see it. It's beautiful. I don't want to bore you with my crazy thoughts, but here you go. It's difficult to see. This is the inside of the Rosa Parks bus. And I'm pretty certain, there's usually a guide here, but I'm pretty certain this is the actual spot that Rosa Parks, my apologies, sparked the civil rights movement. I'm not sitting in it. I've seen others. I don't deserve that honor. Rosa Parks, the true great American hero. And here's what you've all been waiting for. The original Oscar Mayer Weinermobile. Come on. Really? Come on. You're welcome.